These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch to goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide, nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in.
Everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to our live weekly coaching call. As you can see, I'm in a slightly different setting. We've moved into a new office today, and we're still in the middle of getting it all set up, but I'll show you around. But all still pretty fresh and clean, so we're just getting set up, and we're going to have an amazing backdrop here in the next couple of days as well. So we've got a little bit of a surprise for you all with that one. So big thank you for joining us, guys. We've got a couple of updates that we're going to get straight into today. Again, as ever, we will have 2 or 3 very quick breaks in the middle if you need to grab a quick drink, snack, bathroom. Also, guys, drop your questions into the chat. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube, you need to subscribe to this channel, and then you're going to be able to ask questions, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get straight inside our school platform where all of our players and members live, and we're just going to pull up a couple of topics that we want to cover off pretty quick with everyone. So we'll get you across onto this other screen, and hopefully I've got it ready. I did have it ready for you, and it's here. Okay, so just while we give everyone a chance, I've just had a couple of messages. A few people are just logging in as we speak. So we're just going to hold our thought process just for the next 30 seconds, just whilst we wait for everyone to drop in. And then we will get started with our today's call. So I hope everyone's well who's currently with us at the moment. Yeah, and it looks like everyone's in with us now. So we will get started on that one. So as ever, guys, drop your questions into the chat below. A couple of things we want to cover off. So we spoke to you guys that our big mission was to get as many likes, as many comments, as many posts in the community as possible, because it's helping us push up through the rankings here on school. We originally started, I think, as I said, there's 181,000 platforms on this app that we use. We got inside the top 1,000, which was just before Christmas time, and then we got to 961. When we last spoke to you, we managed to make it to 34th, and then I think we got to 21st. we've got some very, very exciting news. We've managed to move up to, guys, 8th place. So we are in 8th place on the school platform. So we are super excited and super pumped. So we are only 7 positions away in regards to making the number 1 spot. Now we want to get the number 1 spot as quick as we can. Now some of you are probably noticing there's another setup here called the Pro Player Pathway in number 7. These guys actually ironically set up about 6 months after us. I actually know the guy who runs this particular program, and as you would have guessed it doesn't have the level of education that we have. It doesn't have the player agents in there. It doesn't have the professional coaches. This particular person who runs this program is a current player playing at the real low levels in England at like Div 7 or Div 8. And yeah, ironically, after they joined, they copied the same name as us, but we're going to leave them be. We're going to let them have our name, even though it's copyrighted and we patent it, because we set ourselves a mission just before Christmas that not only we were going to knock off these guys, but we were going to get into this number 1 spot. So we are getting there, guys, and it's no thanks to you guys for liking, for commenting, for putting posts inside the community. So we're super, super excited to be pushing up in the rankings. So that's a little bit about the rankings. In relation to some posts that we've recently dropped in, as ever, we've got your instructions. So if you're fairly new to school and to the Pro Player Pathway, not sure where to start, a great post to read on how to use school properly. And then it's good to see, as ever, we've got all of our planners getting dropped in. We've got people sending in match analysis. With this one, I'm actually just going to make a note of this one to Ryan Coutinho. I'll just make a mention. I will come back to you later with this one. Thank you. So just to see that they know that we've recognised and acknowledged their message, and we'll get back to those guys on that one. Good to see Jacob Roper putting another daily planner in. So everyone's been killing, putting all the planners in again, guys. Remember, giving everything a like when you're in there. The more likes we do, the more shares, the more posts we do in the community, the more points it's going to give us. If we can get to that number 1 spot, guys, it's going to be an absolute game changer for everyone on the platform. Now, one of the things I did put on here, which is really important that we mention, was... let me find it. So, one of the ones was, we had a couple of winners the other week, and we sent a couple of books off to some of our families who won prizes. So we sent one of these, I believe, to Khaleesi, and I think we sent one of these to... tough question. I'm trying to remember who we sent, but I think it might have been Matthew Campbell. I could be wrong. But we sent 2 of these off. Now, I've managed to get 30 copies of these. So I want you to make sure you're looking at the cover, because I am going to ask you a couple of questions relating to what the book is, what it's called, and any other information. And if you get the right answer, I am going to send you a free copy of the book in the post, okay? So this book is phenomenal. It's from a friend of mine, Stefan Earhart. You probably noticed Stefan if you go to my website. He's one of the big boss guys over at UEFA in Europe. And you will notice when I open up my website, he's one of the people that I interview on my website. And Stefan's an amazing guy. I've been very fortunate to work with him. Stefan is this guy. Let's see if we can find him for you. This was at the Champions League final last year. And I think there he is, just on the right. That's Stefan on the right. So if you want to get a copy of Stefan's book, we've got 30 of them to give away. And we're going to give you all a chance to get one. Now, to get one, this is what I want you to do, and this is what I need you to do. If you want to be one of the first lucky 5 winners, and this is how we're going to do it, we're going to give away 5 copies right now. All I need you to do is write in the community post, okay, the name of the book and who wrote the book, and tell me one reason why you think you should get a free copy of the book. Give me one good reason. So give me a community post. In the community, you've got to write it here. The first 5 people who do it, I want you to tell me the name of the book, who wrote it. You can give me just his first name if you want, and tell me the reason why you deserve to get a copy of this book. We'll cover the postage as well. It's valued at just over $50 USD, and I'll post it to you, so it won't even cost you a penny. All right. So the first 5 people to drop a community post in. Now, Khaleesi and all the others, if you've already won one, you can still win one as well, and you can give it to a friend or a family member. So the first 5 people who are in, you will get yourselves a copy of that book. And don't worry, if you miss out, I am going to give 5 more away in a little while as well. Now, one of the other things I wanted to speak about that got raised today was this one, and I want everyone to be aware of this one. Now, there's been a couple of changes, so whether you're going on any tours this year with us, if you're going on any trials, if you're going to the UK in general, it's been brought to our attention that they've made some changes. So, if you are a UK passport holder like myself, and an Australian passport holder like myself, the rules have changed. If you are heading into the UK moving forward, you can no longer go in on your Australian passport. Okay? Now, this is where it becomes a problem. Like me, I've got my Australian passport. I haven't renewed my British passport for about 4 years because I've never needed it. But now, it looks like they've changed the goalposts, and I now need to get an emergency passport to travel in April to the UK. So I want to make everyone aware of this. Guys, if you've got friends who are coming on the trials and tour with us in April, and you know they're coming and they're not on the call, can you make sure they see this? I have done it on an email through school. I've added it as a community post, and I've got my team to send out an email to everyone as well today. But please spread it around, share it to everyone, and make sure everyone knows that this needs to be sorted. Otherwise, I believe when you get to the UK, there's a charge of about $1,150 Australian to be allowed to go in on your Australian passport. So I just thought I'd let you know, and a big thank you to, I think it was Christian Swell, who tipped me off about that today. So a big thank you to the Twell family for giving us that information. Again, guys, I just want to mention, amazing work. Henry, logging all your stuff. Xavier, brilliant. Joshua Vella, fantastic. Khaleesi, Christian Boyle, brilliant. Some of you are getting so consistent. Taylor as well. Owen Hayder, Isabel Hayder, like Jake Watson, Roddy, like our community, seriously, is the best community on the planet. And I've got no doubt we are going to be at that #1 spot very, very soon. All we've got to make sure we do is, guys, keep posting in the community, keep commenting on each other's posts, keep liking, sharing, and keep spreading the love. I reckon within the next 10 to 14 days, we're going to be in the #1 spot on school. That's 181,000 communities, and we're going to be the #1 spot in sports. How cool is that? Okay, so big well done to everyone involved, guys. And I'm going to have a little look. Let's see if anyone has dropped in the name of the book. All right, Khaleesi Wales, The Footballer's Guide by Stefan Earhart, and it's for your cousin. Brilliant, Khaleesi. You have won a, come on, Ray, type, won a book, send me a, Khaleesi, you are in, amazing work. Hopefully my comments will come up on there somewhere, maybe, maybe not. I think I've killed school. try that one again. I don't know if that worked. Let's see. There we go. Well done, Khaleesi. So you were in first. Let's see who else. Khaleesi. Brilliant. Hunter Phillips. You got yourself one. Exactly the same. DM me with the address and the name where to send it, Hunter, and I will get you one of them off for free. Matthew Campbell. Winner. Chicken dinner. Love it. You get yourself one. Christian Boyle. Fantastic. Another one. I think that's 4. Have we got any more? So we're only giving away 4 books. Can't believe that. Okay, we will give away a few more. We'll give you a little trick question in a minute, see if anyone else can answer it. So first thing we're going to do is we did drop in a little bit of a post for today's call, and I asked for a couple of questions to be dropped in, and I believe we did get a couple on here. So we got one from Xavier and one from Khaleesi. So what we're going to do is, guys, in about 2 minutes time, we will come back, and once we come back live, we will answer those first 2 questions. We'll do a little bit of whiteboard work. Guys, if you haven't dropped in any questions whatsoever, please drop them in YouTube and leave them in the comments. And I'm just going to have a little look. Nice surprise regarding the visas and passports. Yeah, what a surprise. That's the last thing I need. Because I don't only have to sort one. I normally take my daughters with me when we go overseas so they can see family while we're over there. So I've got to sort 3 passports by the looks of it. I've got a question in from Khaleesi on there. We'll get to that one. Christian's mum's a dual citizen right now, submitting her British passport renewal. Well done. Good job, Mr. Twell. And then we've got a question in from Matthew Campbell as well. Fantastic. So guys, we're just going to go to a very, very quick short break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes max. Get a quick drink, get your pens, get your notepads, and I'm about to go and grab the whiteboard, and we're going to whiteboard some of these questions with you.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slipped down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around the shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's a perfect mix of comfort and performance. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the Goats guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the Goats guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro.
Everyone, welcome back. Thank you for the waiting. So we're going to get straight into it. What we're going to do is, guys, I'm going to just share my screen and we're going to go straight into these 2 or 3 questions. We're going to aim, even if it means we run over a little bit today, I want to try and get at least 3 questions answered on the whiteboard today. So I'm just going to share my screen back across, just bear with me, and should be able to get into the right side. Here we go. Okay, so we asked a little bit earlier on to drop in some questions. We've got 2 or 3 in here. We've got 1 or 2 inside YouTube. So first one we got was from Xavier. How do bench players get noticed if they don't have many minutes in a game? What do they need to do when they get on the pitch? And is there anything extra they can do at training? So this is an amazing question, guys, and I'm gonna answer this in a couple of ways. Probably one of the best ways that I can answer it first is actually just talking to you through some of the ideas that I could give you and some of the things that we used to look for when I used to work in the Premier League with the likes of your Liverpools and your Leicesters. So what I will do is I will share my whiteboard and I'm going to put some information on there for you. But rather than doing that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually reply in here for us. So, number 1, and this is the most important one, okay, is positive attitude with everything. And what I mean by everything, I mean like literally training, game days, asking the coaches do they need help setting up, asking the coaches do they need help packing away. So positive attitude with everything you do in and around the club. One of the big things I would do as well, I would always time your communication. And I'm going to explain what I mean by time your communication, but this will make sense for everyone. So obviously no one likes to be dropped. No one likes to be on the bench. But what I would always say as a rule of thumb, don't run up to your coach 5 minutes before the game asking, why the hell have I been dropped? Why am I on the bench 2 games in a row? It's not the time nor the place. My advice would be time your communication, and I would always encourage players from the ages of 13 or 14, even a little bit younger, with supportive mums and dads, to have the confidence to ask the coach a question, and the question should be as follows. At the end of training, coach, I have a question and it's probably going to take 3 or 4 minutes of your time. can you tell me a convenient time and I can have a chat with you? Now, most coaches at the end of training will say, yeah, go for it. Then ask the question. Now, the question, Xavier, you should be asking should be, okay, we've covered off a positive attitude. We've covered off your timing with communication. Now, the next thing should be is that type of communication, what you're going to ask. And the best thing you can do, and when you ask, is, what have I got to do to make the starting lineup? And then the best bit of advice I can give you with that one is sit back, be quiet, and let the coach explain what you've got to do. And then go away, and don't do that for 2 training sessions and then expect to start the next game. Go away and apply yourself for 2 to 3 weeks and see if anything changes. Then if anything doesn't change, revisit with your communication. And that would be, is the appropriate time I can have a chat with you again? I've put everything into place over the past 3 to 4 weeks. I'm still not starting. Now, the next thing that you then really have to think about, and this makes a hell of a difference, winning or losing, okay? And what I mean by this is your team currently winning every game or losing every game? Now, you've got to be careful, because if your team's winning every week, and what we mean by winning is not necessarily we've won 4-0, but players are really doing well with their objectives and they're winning on their objective side. So they're following processes rather than outcomes. Then you may have a counter argument. One of the other final pieces I would give you, and the final one is number 5. I would make sure, okay, you are at that training ground, okay, consistently, not just for a week and then you go, you spit your dummy out and go, he hasn't even noticed or she hasn't noticed. I would say consistently, this always works. Be the first at training and the last to leave. It is an absolute game changer. We had a player at the time, and I spoke about him quite a few times, but one of the boys at the academy, Harvey Barnes, who now plays for Newcastle, he was about 12, 13, 14, nearly 15 when I was at Leicester. Always one of the first there, and most definitely always the last to leave. He would always come up and greet you with a handshake, and he would always ask you, do you need help with anything, coach? Can I help you set up cones? Can I get you a bag of balls? And then when he was leaving, can I help you carry anything back into the equipment cupboards? Now, the answer we always used to give him, because we weren't allowed to allow the players to carry the balls or the cones or the equipment for health and insurance reasons. But the answer was always no, but thank you. But that didn't deter him. He always asked the question. So Xavier, great question. Hopefully you got a lot from that one. It's in the comments there for you to keep as well. So positive attitude with everything. Time your communication. Don't do it right before the big game. Save it for after the training session or when you're walking onto the pitch before the training session, and ask the coach when's convenient to have a chat. Players who are like your age, Xavier, 10, 11, 12, really young, if you're confident and comfortable having them conversations with the coaches, they're going to love you. They will absolutely love that you're having that level of communication. Okay? What have I got to do to make the starting lineup? So that's your question you're asking. And then be quiet. The best bit of advice I could give you is be quiet and let the coach answer. Okay? Winning or losing. Okay? Is your team winning every week? Well, it might be hard to get in the team. If your team are losing consistently and heavily, then maybe you've got a counter argument to maybe push into that team. And then be the first to training and be the last to leave. Those 4 to 5 simple steps, Xavier, are the differences in making it or not. So great one. Now, I will get to our next question. We won't do a break yet. We're going to get to Khaleesi's one. How should a centre midfielder adjust spacing when attacking midfield drops deep? Okay. So I think Khaleesi means, and I hope I'm getting this right. If I'm wrong, Khaleesi, please comment inside school on the same post here for me and correct me. But my understanding of this is when you're a centre midfielder, but the attacking midfielder drops deep. So are we talking about, I'm thinking you're talking about your attacking midfielder. So if your attacking midfielder occupies your space, then what do you do? How do you adjust the spacing? I think that's what Khaleesi means. So I'm going to answer it based on that way. If I'm wrong on that, Khaleesi, jump in the comments on this particular post and just drop it in the comments at the bottom and explain it more. If you mean the opposing attacking midfielder drops deep towards you, then I'll have to have a little look at it. But I'll do it the way I think I've got it right, what you're saying. So I'll just see if I can get connected to the screen. So let's see if we can connect on here. There we go. So this one's actually a quite straightforward one. It won't take a lot of time to explain this one. But I'll take it, as ever, we're shooting up this way. We've got our goalkeeper. We'll imagine we've got our centre-backs and full-backs in position. We'll imagine Khaleesi's in this position. And we'll say, in fact, what we're going to do is today, we're going to change it up. We're going to have two holding in the mid. This one's going to be Khaleesi Wales, and then we'll have an attacking mid, we'll have a 9, and then we got the 7 and the 11. So I think if we have a look at, and we normally have lines on the pitch, so in the UK, when we coach, we always like to split each half into 3 sections, just to give you a little bit of an understanding when we talk about playing in between the lines. So I think what Khaleesi's saying is, if I get this right, Khaleesi's saying that if this midfielder drops into this space here on her team, what does she do, or where does she go? So I'll just have a little quick look back and make sure she hasn't put a comment in here. She hasn't. Yeah, I got it right. Brilliant. All right, good stuff, Khaleesi. So rotation is everything. So whether we play 2 holding, okay, or we play 1 holding, and then we've got 2 high. So if we've got 2 high, whichever way we go, rotation is everything, and this is the answer, and it's a real simple one. Now, it's simple for me because this is how we would coach it in the UK. And again, we can show you the other way around. So if we said on the original setup, we had a player here and a player there and a player there. If this player comes into this space, let's say there, what you might do is, if you're this player, you might talk to this player. And the communication might be press, squeeze. It all depends on the communication. So what we might be looking for is this player to move up there, and then Khaleesi is this player would then become this player there. So it's quite simple rotations, but what we expect to see with our centre midfielders, whatever formation you're playing, whether you're playing a 3 in the midfield, even if you are playing, which is one of my favourite ways to play midfield, is a 4-4-2 in a diamond, it's auto rotation. And we're actually encouraging this boy or girl to purposely maybe make a run here to bring this defender with them, and we want this defender to follow, okay? But what we want to see is all the time, and one of the things we impress Khaleesi, especially in England, we're expecting to see rotations. So whether we're playing 3 in the middle, whether we're playing it as originally we said 2 holding and 1 high, we're looking for constant rotation. But there's one thing we want to make sure, and this is really important: we maintain shape, okay, whether we're in possession or we're not in possession. So great question. It's a really important one, and the key thing with all of this is communication. Now, communication can be verbal, talk to your players loud and quick, short and sharp, visual. So you could give your teammate a visual prompt with your hands, your finger. You give them the direction where you want them to go and where you want them to move. Okay. So great question as ever, Khaleesi. And I'll have a little look, see what our next question is that we've got just inside here. So we've got one in from Matthew, and I did see one come in from Obrad as well. I'm just going to have a quick look at these two questions. What we're going to do is, guys, very, very quickly, we'll go for a literal 30-second quick break. I'll read through the questions, and I'll work out which one we are going to do next, guys. So just bear with us, and we'll be back in a couple of seconds.
Don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable.
Everyone, we're back again. Now we're going to go straight into Matthew's question. I like this one. And this is a really relevant one that for those players who are 16, 17, 18, 19, transitioning from junior football or soccer more into senior or open men's and women's. So the question that Matthew dropped in, I'll just pull it up for us. What are the top things I can do to score more goals as a winger? My previous coach told me that I can never shoot and only cross the ball. Every session from then on, I must cross the ball on the left wing. Now I've changed my position to the right wing. I play as an inverted striker. So some of the top things to score more goals. It is disappointing, especially because I know Matthew's age. He's not like he's 25 or 26. He's still quite young, but to have a coach for 3 years tell you you can't shoot and you can only cross the ball. I get there's tactics, but what you've got to look at MPL 1, the coach is treating it. And this is where it crosses a line for me. MPL 1, anywhere around Australia, should be all about one thing. It's about feeding into the A-League, and it's about feeding into the Socceroos or the Matildas, okay? So it should, and it's advertised as it's all about development and developing future stars. So if the focus is done properly, it should be about development. And you guessed it, if it's about development, Matthew should never have been told not to shoot, because there's going to be moments in the game where he's better in a better prime position to have a go at goal and shoot rather than cross. But luckily now, he's playing on the right wing as an inverted winger. He's coming in on his left foot, which is probably amazing for him. There's some players who do this really, really, really well. Onto the left, onto the right. Some of the top tips I can give you, and we'll put it up onto the board for you. So just bear with us. Here we go. So a couple of the things that you can think about. Now, when you're playing on the right side and you're going to come in onto your left side, we actually cover this on the football blueprint, and we cover it on your 4 turns and your 4 dribbles. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come back into school, and I'm actually going to be a little bit clever, and I'm going to go into classroom, and I'm going to go to the football blueprint, number 6, and 4 turns, and we're going to steal something. We are going to steal this. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to get back into the community, and let's see if we can find this one. And I'm going to reply to Matthew on here, so he's got it as well. but I'm going to cover these off for you individually. Okay, so these are the core fundamental foundations of how to beat a player, how to turn with the ball, how to dribble with the ball. They are the key fundamental foundations. So, dropping the shoulder. Now, if you're in the right side of midfield, and I'll give you an example on this one on this whiteboard. If Matthew is here, okay, and he's driving forwards with the ball, well, imagine when he drops his shoulder, he's going to drop his shoulder on this side, as if he's going to go that way. Once you drop that shoulder, Matthew, and you've exaggerated it with your right foot, and you're going to put your foot across and over the ball, as if you're going to take the ball in that direction, but you're going to step over the ball, then all of a sudden you're then in a situation where you can speed off this way. Now, you know this, but my advice with everything, guys, all of a sudden this is going to affect your goalkeeper. He's going to go from there. All of a sudden the goalkeeper is going to come and cover the angle there. My advice always, and this never changes, whichever side you're shooting from, it's always low and hard into corners. Exactly the same from this side, low and hard into corners. And this has all come from drop your shoulder. It's that simple. Now, I've dropped it into the chat for you, okay? Helps deceive opponents by making them commit to a direction. So what we're trying to do is, if this is the defender, I'll pull it back to this screen here. If this is the defender, by dropping, which will open up this space for you to now attack into, okay? So that's the first one. The second one, change the direction. So we're going to change direction, essential for evading pressure, opens up new passing and shooting angles. So by changing the direction, which we've just done here, this is the change of direction after we've dropped the shoulder. So this is point one. Okay, point one, drop the shoulder. Point two, change the direction. Okay, let's have a little look at the third one. Change of speed. Now, this is where it gets really important. And this is one that I argue with people all the time, and they don't understand it. Now, from this point here, all the way up to there, so this might take you 1 to 2 seconds. I want you to go slow for a couple of reasons. By going slow, it's going to invite the defender in because he thinks he or she can come and take it from you, okay? And it's going to sort of lull the opposition to thinking that they're safe because you are moving slowly with the ball. Once you drop the shoulder here at point one, okay, you're then going to do point two, which is change the direction. Okay, point one's been done. Then point three, from around about here, you are going to change of speed. And I want you to go from slow to fast. Now, by changing your change of speed from slow to fast, Matthew, what you are going to do is you are going to throw the defenders off big time because they're going to see you coming in slow with the ball. Instantly, they think you're hesitating. They think you're second guessing yourself, but you know you're not. You are actually about to put the afterburners on and you're going to get past them very, very easy. Okay, final part, okay? Once we change that speed, we've got to make sure as we accelerate away, and it's not included on this bit, but I'm gonna chuck it on here. Number 4. confident touch, okay? Now, what I mean by a confident touch is a confident touch means from this section here to this section there, this confident touch needs to run without you having to touch the ball again. It means hitting that ball 5 to 10 meters in front of you. We're trying to encourage this player to come off the goal line, which is then going to open up this angle to get into this corner. So drop the shoulder, change the direction, change the speed, confident touch. Matthew, that was a fantastic question. Those reminders are in there in the comments for you. Again, guys, if you're looking for them, okay, those are the fundamental basics of how you beat a player. And it's actually covered, again, in Classroom, Football Blueprint, 4 turns, 4 dribbles. The key elements are all there, and it gives you examples, okay? They're the key bits. They're the key bits of information that you can implement into any part of your game. Matthew, if you like that and enjoyed it, drop it into the chat in the community for me and let me know what was the best bit. We've still got 10 minutes to go, so very quickly, I'm gonna see if I can get one more question in. I'm gonna go back into the community and let's see if I can find, where did I just put that now? Have I gone past it? Let's see if I can find it. There we go. There was one more question in there I wanted to answer, sorry. Okay. Oh, Brad, what is the best way for a striker to respond in a game when being marked by multiple defenders? I love this one. This is one of my favourite ones because, believe it or not, I was a striker, a goal hanger for many, many years, and I've got a great one for you on here. So, best way for a striker to respond in a game when being marked by multiple defenders. So, what we're going to do is we're going to build a picture. Brad is shooting in this direction. Okay, and we're going to say, oops, let's get this back on. We've got our goalkeeper there, and we'll say that we've got our defenders are here. So we've got our 2 centre backs quite tight. We've got our full backs here, and we'll say we've got a holding mid just dropping in there. Then we've got our friend Brad just in here. Now the problem is this defender is touch tight, and this defender keeps in covered and touch tight as well. Now the best thing we can do, there's a couple of things we can do with this, and I'm going to give you probably the top 3 tips on what we can do to affect those defenders. The beauty about this is, Brad, if this happens to you as a player, it's probably a compliment to you as a player because defenders are aware of your level and at what level you can play at, and they're going to do this purposely. Now, there's the first thing you can do to combat this, and I'm going to give you 3, but the first one I would look to do, and it's all around movement. And I'll put in a little down arrow to give you the clue, but it's dropping. Now, if you're finding that these 2 defenders are constantly touch tight, come and get yourself involved down here a little bit and make these runs in here and in here as well. So not only if those defenders want to follow you, you're going to move them out what we call the central channel. You're actually going to move them possibly out of the central channel, but you're also going to move them forwards. And this is going to really upset them, because what's going to happen is, let's say for example, Brad comes here, this centre mid moves on here, and then basically our defenders now are forced to step up. The fullbacks then have to step up as well to the halfway, The risk they run, Brad, if you've got any pace about you now, you've now just set yourself up this area of the pitch that the keeper nor the defenders can compete against you. And you've just created that space just from that one movement by dropping 5 to 10 metres. Now my advice would be, Brad, if they're doing this to you in a game consistently, my advice would be, look to do this 5 to 8 times in every half. They're going to get fed up because they're going to get pulled out of position. It's going to leave gaps galore in behind them. Now, one of the other things we can do, I'll just wipe this clean pretty quick. And what we can do is we can show you our second example. And this is one of my favourite ones. And you want to play the defenders at their own game. And this is how you can affect them completely. So, let's say we got our goalkeeper, we got our central defenders, our fullbacks are just slightly on a little bit. And we'll imagine that you're here, Brad, just in that space there. My advice to you will be, purposely go here so you're 5 metres offside. Now what it's going to do is, it's going to force these defenders, this one and this one, to either drop or constantly look where you are. Now the problem with this is player 1 and player 2 are now heavily distracted. Now what I would suggest once you go offside here, you remember you're not actually offside until you receive the ball, then make a bit of a run around this way and cycle yourself back in and then rotate back in. And they're going to get fed up with it because you're going to make their life a hell. All of a sudden now this defender has got to either come with you, or this defender's got to run the risk of leaving you. Now, if you pick up the ball here, you're now in a great situation where you can have a drive for goal and you can get away. So that would be the second one. Final one, and this is a great one. It's all about communicating to teammates. Okay, I would look to get your teammate who's closest to you. So let's say Brad's here again, and let's say he's playing in the 9 and he's got a teammate here who's playing in the 10. I would have communication with this player, okay? And the communication against these 4 defenders, how we get by them, and communication is key. And this is how you set this up, either in training or before the game. Don't try and do it mid-game, okay? And very simply, the communication will be what we call a bounce ball. So a bounce ball means you drop in, they feed you the ball, you bounce it back to them. First touch. We are confident that one defender's come with you, and then you scan over both shoulders and very, very quickly you attack into this space where that defender's left. By the time you cross this line and you're on line with this defender, your teammate already played you the through ball, and then you've got a great opportunity to see it where we are, okay? So that would be my explanation on that one. So it would be quite simple movements, dropping 5 to 10 meters, drop, look where you are, communication, training before the game, okay, so agree, and it's a bounce and it's a first touch. So I'll just show you this again, just once more, guys, just making sure you're having a little look at it. So remember, number 1, the movement, if you're there, Brad, it's just doing a little 5 to 10 meter drop, okay, and it's going to either get defenders to follow you, or that means you're free, okay? Drop where you are, look where you are, and then the final one is communication. So the final one with communication with your teammate, I'll just cover it one very quick time. We'll imagine Obrad's here, his teammate there. We've got central defenders and we've got fullbacks there. And we'll put this one as Obrad's teammate. Obrad's going to make a little run here, then he's going to ask for the ball. He'll get given the ball. Then Obrad, first touch, will bounce it back to the teammate. This defender or both will probably follow you. And at most levels of football or soccer in Australia, the coaches and the players are not there. So you need to make sure that as soon as those players have followed you into these spaces, you turn and you make your run and you'll get the ball on a through ball here, okay? So movement, number 1, drop, number 2, and communication is number 3. So that's probably the best way to explain it or to describe it for you. Now I'm very, very quickly gonna just go back into the live screen. A big thank you. And I'm just gonna make sure we haven't missed any urgent questions in here. We are pretty much up to the hour, but we are gonna be back thankfully on Saturday. As I said, we're in our brand new office today, which is amazing. We're gonna have it all decked out with different things by the weekend. And we're going to be back Saturday with a live call, and then also we've got podcast Sunday on Sunday. So I'm just going to have a little look. Matthew Campbell, we didn't get to your questions there, but drop it in the community for me. We'll definitely cover it Saturday. Even if you're not on the live Saturday, I'll record it for you and we'll share it back through to you. There was 2 questions in there, so drop them all in for us and I'll definitely cover them on Saturday. I promise that for you. Yeah, sorry guys, I did connect the screen. I've had a few problems with this Remarkable, but I've got to go and get it swapped tomorrow. But I believe I'm going to be working on changing my speed. So again, guys, some great points from today. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you haven't won a book yet, if you want to drop in the community a comment and a post in the community, tell me what was your favourite part of today's session. What was the one thing you learned? Was it the drop of the shoulder? Was it the change of direction? Was it the change of speed? Was it the one bounce, one touch? Drop it in the community in school. Tell us what your one thing was you enjoyed and say, claim my book. And then I'll also have a look in the community chat. I'll get you to DM me and I'll make you a winner. So we'll give away another 5 books. So that's 10 book giveaways in total for tonight. Also, go and get your British passports. Thanks, Mr. Twell. I've now got to get onto the emergency British passport line because all of my passports are up, apart from the Australian one. So, what a mess this is. But we'll sort it. We'll get it fixed. A big thank you, guys, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it as ever. Remember, this is recorded and it will be dropped into the community later on tonight, just before the clock off for the night. And then we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Enjoy your Thursday evening, whatever you're up to, guys.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so light.